Senator Murray's going to go first. She has a markup that they're waiting for now. Please go forward, Patty.
Okay. Thank you very much, Senator Reid, and I am moving quickly to get to the markup of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. I'm very proud to have worked with Senator Lamar Alexander on that, so thank you for allowing me to go first. First of all, I just want to say that today is Equal Pay Day, when we mark the day in 2015 when the average woman would have to work to make what the average man made in 2014. That took about 100 days, but women across the country are all caught up. So I'm going to give the Republican leaders the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe they've just been waiting for women's paychecks across the country to catch up before they really get to work in 2015. So we're 100 days in the year. We are hopeful that they will start working on the issues that we think are important to American families: paid sick leave, equal pay, tax credits for middle-income, hardworking families. Those are the things that we think will help move our country forward. Now, before I go, I do want to address the trafficking bill, because I know there's been a lot of discussion about that, and I understand that Senator Cornyn has offered another proposal. Let me just make this very clear. The SGR bill that is over here does have language that is redundant on community health centers on SGR. I do not appreciate that language got put in that bill, but it is the same language that has been there before. It was unnecessary. I don't agree that it should be in there, but it is the same language that has always been used on appropriations. Very different than the trafficking bill that is now on the Senate agenda at this time, which for the very first time ever uses non-taxpayer dollars, and applies HIDE to them. That is a bridge we are not going to allow to be crossed. And I understand Senator Cornyn is offering a new proposal. So you know, we have offered him 9 proposals at this point, and they have rejected every single one of them. So we are trying to work our way through this. But I will tell you, at the end of the day, we will not accept language that simply hides the HIDE. If the HIDE language is in it and is extended for the first time ever to non-taxpayer dollars, that is a non-starter for all of us.
Well done.
And Loretta Lynch will get confirmed. We're not going to let this one be held up. And we have ways of handling this. 100 days. And as Senator Murray indicated, not much has been done by the Republicans. But keep in mind, we have been cooperating with them. We have not been basically forcing every one of the times they want to bring up a bill. We are not forcing a cloture vote on a motion to proceed. We're not going to do that. That's why they have a much better deal than we had. When we took over, we said we're not going to treat them like they treated us. We're not going to do that. But also, we also have to understand that the, excuse me everybody, sorry to do this. Try some new glasses, because I just couldn't see that. Okay, sorry about that. In a little over 3 months, Republicans have accomplished nothing for the middle class. Zero. Instead, they tried to shut down the Department of Homeland Security and stalled a qualified nominee for Attorney General. As I just mentioned, Loretta Lynch will be confirmed. They can stall her for 157 days. She is going to be Attorney General of the United States. One thing we could do right now is pass the Paycheck Fairness Act. They have filibustered this that affects my daughter, mothers, sisters, neighbors, grandchildren. They filibustered this 5 different times, and it's wrong. As I said this morning, I'll say again, on my desk is the name Mr. Reid. The fact that every desk in there has a name on it is different. The Republicans are trying to hide the fact that they're responsible for the unequal pay of women. They've got their name on that. 5 filibusters, and that's wrong. We hope that they can get off their rear ends and let us pass this, so that we can next year not have to celebrate this day that we are not happy about celebrating. Senator Durbin.
Thank you, Senator Reid. This morning we had a bipartisan briefing relative to the negotiations with Iran. Secretary Kerry, Lou, and Moniz were there with other representatives from other agencies. It was a packed house, one of the largest gatherings I have seen. And I think that the administration, those who were there, laid out in detail exactly what they were setting out to achieve in their negotiations with Iran. They answered questions for almost an hour from both Democrats and Republicans. And it was clear to me that we are moving in the right direction with these negotiations to stop a nuclear Iran and to avoid the necessity of military action by the United States or any other country. It is coincidental that at the same time negotiations were underway between Senator Corker on the Foreign Relations Committee and Senator Cardin, now our ranking member on that same committee. They have been in a good faith effort for days, if not weeks, to try to work out the differences in the Corker-Menendez bill with the administration. We were pleased to learn today at lunch that they have reached a tentative agreement, which will be considered in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. We are hopeful that it will achieve the following: to make certain that we do not in any way interfere with the negotiation process, that Congress retains its right to make a decision up or down, if it wishes, on any negotiation agreement that comes forward, and that it's done on a timely basis that doesn't interfere with the negotiation process. We're hopeful that this will move forward, and we think if it will be a positive move, a bipartisan move to deal with an extremely important issue concerning the security of the United States.
Senator Schumer.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Harry. Well, we're 100 days into the new Republican Senate, and the middle class is wondering what the Republicans have to show for it. A bill to help alleviate student loan debt? Nope. A bill to provide equal pay for equal work when women are treated unfairly? Nope. A bill to raise the minimum wage? Not a chance. Instead, the Republicans have wasted their time on special interest giveaways in the Keystone Pipeline, catering to their hard right, threatening to shut down the Department of Homeland Security, refusing to move forward on bipartisan legislation to stop human trafficking because they want to score points for the anti-choice special interests. I don't think this is what the American people had in mind when they gave the Republicans the keys to the Senate. Now, Leader McConnell knows he needs to get things done for the good of his party. But between the Tea Party and his ever-growing presidential caucus, he's simply caught between a rock and a hard place. Earlier this year, we heard Republicans across the country start to pay lip service to the plight of the middle class, to claim they too were focused on growing wages. But now, 100 days in, it's clear they were only talking the talk, not walking the walk. In the next 6 weeks, Republicans face a gauntlet of governing, and they're going to have to summon the courage to do what's right for the American people. There is foreign policy, cybersecurity, sex trafficking, a highway funding cliff, and the expiration of the Patriot Act. And, try as they might to forget about it, Loretta Lynch is still waiting to be confirmed as Attorney General. Our patience, the patience of the American people, is wearing thin. The only way the Republicans can get the train back on the tracks and start governing is if they really stare down the hard right and gather the strength to do the right thing. We Democrats hope they will.
I'll take some questions now. Yes.
Senator Reid, I'm curious how your perspective of being in the Senate has changed since deciding you're going to retire.
Hasn't changed at all. I've got 21 more months, and caucus went just like the others I've done over the years. We're going to continue that way.
Mr. Leader?
Yes.
So what is your view of the legislation on the Foreign Relations Committee, and do you think it portends either approval or disapproval for an action of the board?
I'm sorry, what was the last part?
Do you think it portends that the Senate will approve or disapprove of the action of the board?
Well, I think it's, as Senator Durbin indicated, I think it's really a wonderful step forward that the White House and the Foreign Relations Committee has agreed to move forward. I think that's good. The president said he won't veto this. Now I want to look, I haven't read it, I want to look at it, but I have to tell you, I feel a lot better about this today than I did yesterday. Yes, there you are.
It wasn't clear to me what she was saying, whether Democrats would vote for the bill as it exists.
Yeah, there'll be 3 amendments offered by the Democrats, 3 by the Republicans. I don't know what I can't tell you. I've seen the 3 Republicans, but forced them out of my mind. The Democratic amendments are, we're going to have one on raising the caps on therapy. We're going to have one, Patty Murray, dealing with issues relating to women. And we're going to have one that'll, the CHIP will be increased from 2 years to 4 years. Those are our amendments. And I think that we've agreed to a very, very short time agreement on each one of them. I've suggested a half an hour. So there's no reason we shouldn't be able to whip through those pretty quickly.
Leader Reid, if none of the amendments pass,
Pardon me?
Is the one from Senator Murray, is that on the high amendment language?
I have read the amendment. It's more inclusive than that. Yeah.
Leader Reid, if none of the amendments pass, would Democrats object to proceeding to a final vote on the SGR bill? If none of the amendments are adopted by the Senate,
Yeah,
would you
well-
object to proceeding to a final vote?
There's no, that, before we enter into the agreement, that will be the agreement. When these amendments are disposed of, we'll vote on the bill.
Senator Reid, and perhaps to your two colleagues here, when last we saw you here, it was before the big news that you made, and I'm wondering if you and your two colleagues here can weigh in on some of the commentary that's gone back and forth about what was promised to whom or was not promised to whom or anything of that sort.
Leadership positions for the 114th Congress, I think it's 115th Congress, will be determined after the first of the year, or toward the end of the next year. I'm so happy, proud of, in admiration of my three leaders that have been with me during basically my entire tenure. There's never been a better leadership team in the history of this country as far as leading the caucus. So I'm very proud of them, and I stand by that because there's no question that's the case. Thanks, everybody.
I agree with that.